Yes, so we are moving on to part D, and part D is asking to write down the coordinates of the y-intercept and the minimum point of our quadratic. All right, 1x squared plus 2x minus 8. So here we have it. We have identified the line of symmetry, okay, the axis right in the middle of the parabola, cuts it in half, 2 equal halves, okay. And but Dino wants the y-intercept where the graph touches the y-axis. So when we come down, that's where it touches the x-axis. That's a root. We come into it, coming down to the minimum point, and it's going back up. And look at the y-axis. Here it is. Let me label it. The y-axis is the vertical axis. That's the y-axis. That's the y. Okay. Here it is, the y-axis. And here's the x-axis. The horizontal is the x-axis. Okay. So now, when the graph reaches minimum point and it's coming back up, look, it is intercepting the y-axis. And that point now is -8, which of course is the c value in the quadratic equation. Always bear that in mind. The last number, which is c, is always the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is actually -9. Okay. Let me just label that properly. Line of symmetry. It's a vertical line. I can even write it properly. Vertical line. Symmetry. Symmetry, how would you call the Google pronouncing it? Symmetry. Okay, vertical line of symmetry. All right. Doesn't really matter once you have properly labeled it, and the equation is y is equal to x is equal to -1. Okay, because as you can see, the x value doesn't change, which is -1 all the time. The y value changing, but the x value doesn't change. Now, the y-intercept now, here is the y-intercept, color coded in green. Okay, it's a point. So the y-intercept is a point. Y-intercept, where the line touches the y-axis, is a point, and it's 0 because x is 0. Look, x is 3, x is 2, x is 1, x is 0 on the y-axis. So it's 0, comma, and the y value now is -8. That's a y value. See, y is equal to -8. When x is 0, you put 0 there, you're going to get -8. All right, I'm just going to prove it to you. If you put 0 in the place of x, when x is equal to 0, when x is equal to 0, when x is equal to 0, y is equal to -8. Y is equal to -8. So for the y-intercept, you must put 0, comma, -8 for the y-intercept. Okay, bear that in mind. For the y-intercept, x is 0. Okay, please take note of that. So look, the y-intercept right there. Okay, there it is. The y-intercept. 0, comma, -8. Okay. Now, always remember that for the y-intercept, x is always 0, and now C now, the last number in the quadratic, will be the y value when x is equal to 0, and it will be 0, -8, the point of the y-intercept where the line touches the y-axis. So please bear that in mind.